So a few years ago, I dropped a 36-minute rent-a-girlfriend video talking about how unbelievably bad this series is. And as much as I'm thankful that this video blew up, I do not want to be involved with this series anymore because I just can't believe how bad it became. When that chapter dropped, I thought that was it. That was the rock bottom. This series is so ass. Even Crunchyroll is not having it. But when I thought Rent-a-Girlfriend would just fade into obscurity faster than me saying the Windows Phone, and when I thought this series couldn't get even lower, lo and behold, another horrendous chapter was dropped. And unfortunately, this is where I come in because once again, I will talk about this f***ass manga once again and how terrible this series is. Now, before I begin, if you don't know Rent-a-Girlfriend, good for you. So I'm just gonna recommend this video first to you instead. But what I know is that if you click on this video, I know that you know what this series is about. So I'm not gonna summarize everything from square one. Also, this video will have spoilers, in case you care, which I assume you don't, but I'm just saying. So let's begin. First of all, just to inform you guys, Rent-a-Girlfriend has been ongoing for like 400 chapters. And I would like to tell you that since dropping this garbage, there isn't a lot that happened. Like, seriously, how did this man manage to stretch out this series for 400 chapters with little to no development whatsoever? Mind you, the One Piece manga, in chapter 400, they're already at Enies Lobby. Many of its fellow rom-com contemporaries have already ended or at least bagged the girl. All I can summarize throughout my second reading of this series is that since that terrible NTR chapter, the only major progressions that happened are Kazuya, Chizuru, and Yaemori are now living together, and Kazuya is just planning to date Chizuru. For real? No rental? Like, what took you so long? The other major event will be discussed later on. But my point here is, with these hundreds of chapters, 90% of them is just Kazuya being down bad to Chizuru, will they, won't they bullshit, goon sessions, Kazuya glazing Chizuru like he's DJ Academics to Drake. If we broke it off, then you know it. And all of this will repeat for all eternity. You know why it took me almost 2 months to finish this short video? It's because it took me so long to finish reading. The amount of times I would procrastinate reading this thing is crazy. I would rather watch paint dry or listen to Dax non-stop than read another Rent-a-Girlfriend chapter. It's the same f***ing thing. We're hundreds of chapters in, and Kazuya is still losing his marbles whenever he sees Chizuru's underwear. Like deadass, they would still dedicate a chapter just for Chizuru's mole on her thigh. Like, why are we still doing this? This is like the solo leveling of rom-coms, but instead of non-stop hype moments and aura, it's just Kazuya being a non-stop gooner. We're hundreds of chapters in, and Kazuya has little to no development whatsoever. And that's because whenever he levels up, he goes 2 steps back. But, you know, of course something still did happen. Because during the time when the three of them were living together, Chizuru was actually checking on Kazuya on whether she likes him or not. And the hints were obviously saying yes. And when it's time for the two of them to leave, Kazuya asked Chizuru for a date. The actual date, not a rental one. And this date was supposed to be the time where Chizuru will finally decide whether she will be with Kazuya or not. And this manga took at least 20 chapters. Yes, 20 chapters for Kazuya to strategize the whole date. And then when it's time for the date, Kazuya was doing well. Chizuru also came prepared, and based on the chapters, she looks like she's actually considering Kazuya for real. Chizuru was a bit awkward because she's been doing fake dates all the time and this is her first actual date. Then when the night falls, the date is about to end. Chizuru actively told Kazuya she wants to make the decision right now. She told her how he got her back multiple times. She had fun being with him and even living together with him. She didn't regret the kiss and she deadass told him that she loves him. Looking good so far. So, why on this blue earth did all of this end in the rejection? Look, in other series, this might have worked because, you know, human emotions can be complex and all of that. But this woman has been feeling like this for about 200 chapters. I was already sick of her on my previous video, and I definitely still am right now. And then when she explained why, it's because of her lifestyle and her job right now. And then, when Kazuya was about to move out, when they're about to live separately again, they acted like nothing happened. And then when Kazuya was about to enter the taxi, Chizuru, out of nowhere, hit him with a kiss. And this time, this is not a fake one. This is her actually kissing him because she actually wants to kiss him. And I was like, this man is about to drag this thing for another 100 chapters, isn't he? Look, first of all, I would like to clarify, because some of you are saying that she prefers being a rental girlfriend than being with Kazuya, which I disagree. I still think that Chizuru is just prioritizing her acting career more than her love life, and she needs the money to fund her dream. And then secondly, I've seen this type of narratives when it comes to romance anime where the person is unsure or trying to sort their feelings and all that. That is fine. However, my biggest complaint here is that the author has dragged this series to the ground more than possible in order to tell the story. And that is what makes this all bad.
Do it any better than what they did. This is just my version.
This series has served a lot of ass, more than Megan Thee Stallion could. That all this series could do is just progress their story with no more unnecessary bullcrap. This series is trying so hard to be a serious romantic drama, when your series is literally called Rent a Girlfriend, which is led by a main character that won't stop gooning. Like seriously, why do they need to show us the tissues, man? It doesn't even bring something to the story. Stop it!
To stop! No more!
Anyway, my point is, that moment with Chizuru's grandma is enough drama. That was good, I'm not gonna lie. But it's been proven that the author cannot replicate that. So now, just get on being a rom-com again. Because all this drama BS is just messing with the series as a whole. So now, let's go back with the story. Right after this whole rejection arc, Yaemori helped Kazuya regarding the situation. And after their conversation, Chizuru said that she has an upcoming play to perform on, so she can't deal with other stuff at the moment. But right after the play, maybe she can have a date with Kazuya again, which means my intuition is right, that this man will drag this series even further, possibly even after GTA 6. Now with this in mind, Kazuya decided to go into his self-improvement era. He's gonna get a job, TW employment, he's gonna learn how to drive, and he's gonna change his appearance. And the first thing he did was get a new haircut.
Get your stinking ass off of me!
At first, I didn't think much about it. Way different from his usual appearance, but I think it's fine. I didn't know what the issue was at the time because what I only knew was the whole rejection thing, which made me make this video in the first place. But when I saw that one post comparing his new haircut with the author's, why do I think this is similar? It's almost like they're identical. And I was like, did this man just kill Kazuya and self-inserted himself in his own series? Of course, all of this was speculation. I don't know the guy, but considering his past online activities, showing his weird obsession with Chizuru, his own creation, I wouldn't be surprised if this was the case. This is a married man with children, and this is how he's moving. Like, I know you might be doing this for attention, but you're not beating the allegations anytime soon with all of this crap. The funnier thing about this whole haircut debacle is, the moment he got that haircut, where he resembles the author more, Kazuya suddenly starting having some motion. Mami was suddenly on his ass, and Ruka, who by the way, is still in a relationship with Kazuya, instead of cutting off the relationship after all this, literally begged him to sleep with her. She even said that she won't mind being the second option. Like, come on. I'm not reading a man's self-insert fantasies. He's willing to degrade her character just for his fantasies. Which by the way, I don't really mind that much as long as you make it peak and it contributes to the story. But this series is not it. You know what? I'm not doing this anymore. I'm too employed for this. Now, with all that said and all of my rants about the recent chapters, compared with the NTR chapter, are the recent major events actually worse than this? Not really. But that's like power scaling Diddy and Epstein on who's worse. It doesn't matter because they're both evil. And Rent a Girlfriend is still garbage. Basura. And the fact that this thing will get more anime seasons makes me sick. I know that people are also sick of the series, but at the end of the day, they will still subscribe to the series knowing full well that it's gonna be garbage, that it's gonna be bad, that it's gonna be horrendous. And then another terrible chapter will go viral on Twitter again. The cycle never ends. Speaking of subscribing, subscribe to this channel. Making this video has little to no benefit to me and my life, so at least I would like to get something out of it. Like and comment. If I get enough comments, I will react to them via YouTube Shorts. Watch my other videos. That's it, and see you next time.